David Orberton, Liberal Democrats, 812. Southall Christopher John, Green Party, 1,184. Watling Giles Francis, the Conservative Party candidate, 16,205. Young Timothy John, Labour Party, 6,364.
So Douglas Carswell, that is the first UKIP MP to be elected at a general election. He, of course, has defeated himself. He won it as a Conservative in 2010. But look at that, his majority is down to just over 3,000, whereas he had over 10,000 at the by-election last year. UKIP are on the board. Douglas Carswell is elected for Clacton. But while that declaration was being made, two further losses for the Liberal Democrats, both picked up by the Conservatives, including Eastleigh, which they managed to hold at a by-election. They lost that, and they lost Cheltenham as well.
Officer, to your team, to the police, today in our part of Essex, democracy ran very smoothly. Thank you. Thank you too to my fellow candidates. Taking part in an election is quite an undertaking. You expose yourself to a bit of scrutiny, a bit of criticism. It takes a certain spiritedness to do it, and you did so with good grace and good nature, and it was a good, open, honest competition. Above all, I thank local voters for electing me as your Member of Parliament. To me, there is no greater honour than to be a member of the House of Commons in this country. As your MP, I've always answered directly to you. You are my boss. I will never forget that. Here in our part of Essex, people voted for UKIP, and they got UKIP. Yet across the country, about 5 million people will have either voted for UKIP or for the Green Party. Those 5 million people will be lucky to get a tiny handful of MPs in the House of Commons. That failure to translate those 5 million votes into seats is less a reflection of how my party or the Green Party campaigned. Rather, it tells us how dysfunctional our political system has now become. Approximately 4 times more people voted either for the Greens or for UKIP than for the SNP, and yet the SNP is expected to get many more times the representation. Over the coming days, ministers will meet with Mandarins to discuss a programme for government. I hope that those vying to get their hands on the levers of power will have the modesty to remember that there are many people who feel underrepresented. They represent parties, the ministers represent parties with hardly a third of the popular vote. I hope they will be humble and modest enough to remember that. I hope they'll remember millions of people, not just Greens and UKIP, but millions of people who feel they no longer have representation. The time for political reform is now. Westminster has become a cartel. Too much of our politics is arranged for the convenience of established politicians. So much about Britain is so much better than it's ever been. We live longer, happier, healthier lives. We're more prosperous than a generation ago, from online shopping to iPlayer. We have endless choice and competition. We're more tolerant and more equal than we've ever been before. So much is so much better, except when it comes to how we do our politics. I'm absolutely convinced that one day we will look back and we will marvel that it took us so long to make our politics better and to improve it. With a bit of choice and competition, we can make Westminster work. As a UKIP MP, I will work with anyone from any side of the political spectrum who's serious about real political reform. Thank you and good night.
So Douglas Carswell there, a thoughtful contribution. Some people think he might be the next leader of UKIP if Nigel Farage doesn't get elected tonight. We'll hear about that in a moment. Should just say a few other interesting results.